we need to consider the weather as one of the factors that affects or influence our organisms. And yes, we're connected to the nature much more than we think about it. So exposure to the sunlight, even in the cloudy day, will influence your mood in a good way. Besides, as Maria said, there were interesting researchers that proves that people who commit suicide, they had lack of the certain um,
Omega 3.
omega 3 component in their brain. So it's very important thing too. The sun is the light. It's really it.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it is very interesting how we do not think about this impact of the weather in our moods. And I mean, the ideal thing would be to be just very like, okay, I don't care about the weather. I don't care if I have sunlight or not. I will be happy always, blah blah blah. Of course not. That doesn't happen. It's not real. So yeah. So it's also very interesting and how depression and the lack of omega 3 are related, and also the depression and the lack of sunlight. So, for example, some researchers showed some years ago, I don't know right now, but some years ago, the Nordic countries had the most suicides in the world. And it was very interesting on how their lifestyles are very easy compared to other parts of the world, and they have a very good lifestyle. They earn good salaries in relation with other countries, and yet they kept committing suicides, so many suicides that it was it was kind of like an alarm, like this country is has too many suicides, so what is going on here? And these people that were doing this research, they found out that it was because of it was related to the lack of sunlight. And also there are some studies that show that if you have depression and you take a sun bath about 30 minutes, it depends on the level of depression, but between 10 and 30 minutes every day of a sun bath, your depression and your mood can become better. You can heal without taking any pills, just with the sunlight. So it is very important and interesting, and yet how some people don't have this as much sunlight as necessary, so to say, and yet they are not sick. So I think it's also related to this purpose in life. So when you have to fight for something, when you have a purpose in your life, you have an idea, an objective where you want to go, what you want to do with your life. And when this purpose is related to others, it is very different when the purpose is related to yourself, like, oh, okay, my purpose is just for me, I don't care if I will help people or not. It has a very different impact on you. And so the it's very interesting how when you help others and how when you give to others, your mood is very different, and when you just give to yourself, when it's like a selfish purpose, it is very different. And
Mm-hmm.
so these societies, the Nordic societies, have become very lonely because they are very closed to, for example, to new relationships. Like there are many interviews to people from Sweden, for example, and how Sweden is the most difficult country in which you can make new friends because the society is a bit close. So imagine that you have this weather, cold weather, and the people are cold. Like their way to express is very cold. And everything in your life is cold, so that must have an impact, a negative impact on your brain.
Mm-hmm.
There is actually, and now I I am remembering a meme that I that I saw about, it was very, because in Mexico, okay, in Mexico we make memes for everything. So there is this meme about
Hmm.
about how the songs in the Nordic places are so full of desperation and sadness. And so the songs and everything in their lives are so sad, and yet they put an image of how beautiful their houses are, the perfect society, everything is perfect, and yet their songs and their moods are not very happy, so to say. And how they compare it with, it's a meme, of course, it doesn't necessarily it has to be real, but they compare it how, like, in Latin America the houses are just terrible, horrible, it's like full of gangs, and everything is just a disaster. And the songs in Latin America are related to, I am so grateful for the sun, I'm so grateful for this amazing life, we have such a good life here. And that is related to the sun, how the sun makes us feel. So it's very funny to see this, like, it's a meme, but it's funny. um and yeah, I think it has different, it depends also on the character of the people and the temperament of the people, and in many things. But it is something that we should pay more attention to. And probably, for example, a lot of depression nowadays, there's a lot of depression nowadays, and it can be cured with something very simple as sunlight, for example. And we have never thought about it. We have no idea, because usually we have the sun every day, and so it's like a common thing. So we don't pay attention to that until we start missing the sunlight, for example. And there, like, basically we have the cure here in the nature, and we are not paying enough attention to it. So we should pay more attention.
Yes, and those natural things, they are really helpful. And not only sunlight, but also socialization, which is natural for us. Yes, to build connections, to just communicate, to talk. It's all very healthy. And no matter what society structure is, we still can find ways, especially in this century, to communicate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So expose yourself to the sunlight, and we'll see you in another
Burn
episode.
your skin. And no, of course not, but of course not. But I think we talked about this in another episode, and about
Mhm.
how everything, like how the sunlight and how the sun is like the evil thing nowadays, and everybody should just be aware of the sun. The sun will kill you. Come on, it's like the sun is life. Of course, you need to we need to have people listen to me. We need to have common sense. So of course you won't go to the sunlight for 3 hours when it's like super high, and yeah, sure, you will be burned for sure if you do that. But use your imagination, use your okay. So go to the sun when it's not so high, and don't get so exposed to it. You don't need sunscreen to,
Yeah.
like, take it easy, breathe.
You know, Maria will teach you common sense. So listen to Maria.
Okay. Okay, I'll try. I try. Yes.
So thank you guys.
Have a good day, night, wherever you are. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye bye.